Let's go live to the Treasurer, Jim Chalmers now. Thank you for that. We'll go to the Treasurer live at the Blue Room of Parliament House in response to this decision by the RBA to keep rates on hold.
Thanks, everyone, for being here. I've got 4 things to touch on, but particularly, obviously, the rates decision. And we are partway through the investor roundtable that I have to get back to. So let me try and be as efficient as I can and run through the 4 issues before us. First, obviously, the Reserve Bank has kept interest rates on hold at 4.35%. This is welcome news for people who are already stretched enough. The last thing that people needed at Christmas time was another rate rise. And so I think this decision today from the Reserve Bank will be met with sighs of relief right around Australia. This is a difficult time of year at the best of times. People are under pressure from the rate rises already in the system, from inflation which is moderating but still too high, and our economy is under pressure from global economic uncertainty as well. We are making welcome and encouraging progress in the fight against inflation. Now, we're not getting carried away because we know that people are still under pressure. We know that people are still doing it tough. We know that people are finding it difficult to make ends meet. But if you look at the recent data, you look at the recent commentary, it's very clear now that we are making welcome and encouraging progress in this fight against inflation. Our plan, which has 3 parts, to roll out targeted cost of living help, to get the budget in much better nick, and to invest in our economy, those 3 things are helping to put downward pressure on inflation, and we've seen that reflected in recent weeks. Now, at the same time that we're dealing with pressures on people in the near term, we are also making sure that we are investing in the future of our economy and our community at the same time. And that's why today's investor roundtable is so important. These roundtables bring together more than $2 trillion of funds under management. It's all about trying to align what's good for investors and superannuation fund members with what's good for our communities and what's good for our country more broadly. I really am very grateful for the enthusiasm and the contribution of the big funds, whether they be super funds or other institutional investors, working with the government to find win-wins in our economy, to find these ways where our people can do well, our investors, our super fund members can do well at the same time as we advance our national economic priorities as well. This is all about making sure that capital is flowing in ways that modernise our economy and maximise our advantages in a really important time for the future of our economy and our people. Now, we'll get a backward-looking read tomorrow on the economy with the national accounts for September. We expect that parts of the economy are performing relatively well, but other parts are being buffeted by higher interest rates and by global economic uncertainty as well. It remains to be seen, of course, what those numbers say. We already know that people are under pressure. We already know that the global scene is unpredictable. But we also know that inflation is moderating, wages are growing. We've had 2 consecutive quarters of real wage growth. We've got unemployment with a 3 in front of it. 620,000 jobs have been created on our watch. We've got record participation in the labour market. We've got the first surplus in 15 years and a much stronger budget position, saving tens of billions of dollars in debt and debt interest. So we enter this period of global and domestic economic uncertainty from a position of genuine and relative economic strength. As I've said to you a number of times in this room, we've got a lot coming at us, but we've got a lot going for us, and we'll see some combination of that in the national accounts tomorrow. The last thing I wanted to touch on briefly is I wanted to update you that I've now had my first formal conversation with the new Finance Minister of New Zealand, Minister Nicola Willis. I met Nicola in opposition when I was in New Zealand. I exchanged messages with her on election night. Clearly, the New Zealanders have a process after election night to put together a governing coalition. And with her appointment confirmed, I was really pleased to be able to have that first conversation with her yesterday. We discussed the global economy, our domestic economies, the work that we can do together on closer economic relations, on climate change and energy. We canvassed a whole range of issues, and we're looking forward to a face-to-face meeting before long. I'm prepared to go to New Zealand for that, or happy to host Minister Willis here in Australia. We've had a wonderful relationship with the former government of New Zealand. We look forward to a really productive, wonderful relationship with the new government of New Zealand. We've got so much to advance together, and that was really the character and the colour and the spirit of the conversation that I had with Finance Minister Willis yesterday.